From a beloved online figure streaming every kind of content, with everyone cheering and supporting him, to a controversial figure caught in one of the internet's biggest backlashes, to the point he had to shut down his own comment section. The fall didn't happen overnight. It started slowly, back in early 2020, with what seemed like just another casual house party among Austin streamers. It wasn't filmed, not planned for content, just a group of friends hanging out, drinking, and having fun. Among them was Adriana Lee. That night, she drank too much and eventually passed out. Later, she would say that while she was unconscious, Crazy Slick touched her inappropriately, specifically her chest and neck. A few people at the party noticed something didn't seem right and stepped in to check on her. When Adriana woke up the next day, everything felt hazy. She couldn't piece together the full story herself, so most of what she learned came later from friends who were there. Since Crazy Slick was part of her social circle, and others close to her, like Mizkif and Maya Higa, were also friends with him, she felt trapped. Speaking out could have created tension with the people around her, so she stayed quiet to avoid being seen as starting drama. Some brushed off the incident entirely, saying Slick was just checking her pulse. That doubt made her bury the story even deeper.
January 2020, was at a party, fell asleep, got touched by Crazy Slick. He was, quote, checking my pulse by touching my neck and chest area and trying to feel my heartbeat.
For 2 years, it stayed buried, until September 2022. And strangely enough, it wasn't Adriana who brought it back up. It resurfaced because of something completely different: Twitch's gambling controversy. In 2022, Twitch was tearing itself apart over gambling streams. Some creators, like Pokimane and Mizkif, wanted them banned, while others, including Trainwrecks TV, defended them. During a heated Twitter exchange late one night, Trainwreck sent out a single tweet: "You helped cover up sexual assault." Those 6 words blew the doors wide open. Within minutes, social media lit up with speculation, threads, and wild theories about what he meant. Soon after, Adriana confirmed she was the woman Trainwreck was referring to. She released a statement explaining what happened and why she had kept quiet for so long, saying that people close to Mizkif came to her home and told her to get her story straight. What started as an argument about gambling quickly turned into one of the biggest Twitch scandals in years. Old clips resurfaced, timelines were picked apart, and nearly every major streamer weighed in. Then came the leaked Discord call: Mizkif, Maya Higa, Trainwreck, and a few others all speaking in a tense, heated discussion.
I know what he told me in private 6 times. I know what Barry told me. What Barry told me, what Mitch told me, aligned perfectly until we got into this fucking call. And they still did until Mitch talks, and then you cut him off with, "See, I told you," before he finishes.
But one moment in particular stood out. It seemed to confirm that Mizkif had sent Maya and Mitch Jones to talk to Adriana, trying to make her story sound less bad. To many viewers, that looked like a cover-up. And when an old clip resurfaced showing Mizkif saying, "Worst case, it's like low-scale harassment," nobody really cared. It sealed his fate. The backlash was instant. Low-scale harassment? Imagine saying that publicly. If you can't tell this is serious, you shouldn't have a platform. By the end of that week, Mizkif's reputation was collapsing in real time. 2 days later, OTK, the organization he co-founded, announced that he would step away while they investigated. Maya Higa issued her own apology and went silent. Crazy Slick vanished completely. And Mizkif? No streams, no tweets, no explanations. For someone who built his entire image on being open and unfiltered, that silence said more than any statement ever could. He started by addressing the controversy briefly, saying the OTK investigation found no wrongdoing and that he'd be resuming content as usual. The audience reaction was mixed. Some welcomed him back with open arms. Others saw the return as tone-deaf. Another example of a creator treating serious allegations like a short-term PR issue. He disappears for 3 months and acts like nothing happened. Classic Mizkif: apologize, wait it out, and reboot. The guy always lands on his feet somehow. Despite the skepticism, his numbers recovered quickly. Twitch viewers missed his chaotic humor. the Austin Content House vibes, and his energy on stream. Sponsors returned, clips went viral again, and for a while, it looked like Mizkif had pulled off one of the fastest comebacks in Twitch history. But behind the jokes and collabs, people noticed something was different. Before the scandal, Mizkif had been surrounded by close friends, Maya, Mitch, and Crazy Slick among others. Afterward, many of those names quietly disappeared from his content. People who used to appear on stream daily were now completely gone, and one person seemed to take their place, Emiru. Emiru was rising fast on Twitch, known for her cosplays and calm personality, so when it was announced that she'd be moving into the OTK house, fans assumed it was a business move, maybe even a sign of OTK's stability returning. By mid-2023, fans started noticing tension between Mizkif and Emiru on stream, and as an example, where Mizkif finds molded cheese in his fridge, takes it out on Emmy. About 15 minutes after this happened, power went out and the stream turned off. Russell posts in his offline chat that Miz turned off the power. Here is also a link to his VOD. Sometime later, Hachubby and Russell suddenly changed their stories and pretend they had inserted a hairdryer into the power outlet and it caused the power to be knocked out. This was after Russell made the comments about Miz turning off the power, and there was a lot of online chatter about it. People were comparing it to earlier incidents with Maya, where he would turn off the router if her view count was too high. Read on for the DM leaks, happened after stream was over. Some people can think it was just a passing accident, nothing major, but in reality, it was a sign of something much darker. In October 17th, 2025, Twitch hosted its biggest annual event, TwitchCon 2025. Thousands of creators met their fans, Emiru included. The incident didn't look serious at first glance, but it left a mark on her, both emotionally and mentally. Because that day, after the chaos of TwitchCon, Emiru remembered the darker times she had gone through when she and Mizkif lived together. Days later, she posted a video titled, "The Last 3 Years of My Life." In that video, Emiru describes a period filled with control, manipulation, emotional breakdowns, and moments of fear, without naming names directly, but everyone knew who she meant.
Today, I'm finally going to be opening up about the psychological and domestic abuse, stalking and harassment, sexual assault, and threats of blackmail that Mizkif has done towards me, and some of these issues which are still ongoing. For the entirety of this year, I have attempted to separate myself from him and not talk about him at all, and not talk about this issue and just not make it a public thing. I always tried my best to keep this to myself.
This video set the internet on fire. Within hours, comment sections, Twitter threads, and Reddit posts flooded with reactions. I knew he was a weirdo. I never knew he was a monster. Guy offers her to move in just to be worse than the other person she was dealing with. What a monster. Mind you, she is only telling the public what she is comfortable sharing. Bro is a menace. Mizkif went from Twitch's favorite entertainer to a pariah, facing a storm of hate, disbelief, and calls for accountability. And as the pressure grew, Mizkif finally broke his silence. He released the video titled, "The Truth," and within it, he admitted that he was aggressive.
Fights were getting more aggressive, and shouting began to increase. I was not perfect, and I reflect on those situations poor taste to myself. I'm ashamed that the situations got so bad, but Emmy was also violent. She would throw clothes or plushies at me, and I punched holes in the walls or slammed doors in aggression. I one time did say I was going to kill myself during an argument, but Emmy did this as well numerous times. She would constantly say she's going to kill herself in arguments, and I have a picture where while I had a gun pointed at one of her stalkers who came to my house while she was in Kansas,
and he was being controlling.
In regards to being controlling, I told her many things. I told her to dress older, to stop wearing pajamas, to stop talking about stalkers and schizos as a whole, stop talking about past relationships, and yes, I didn't want her to travel without me. I also said that I didn't want her to hang out with specific people. This is because I didn't want her to get hurt.
If you look at his responses, even when he admits to something, he always blames her. It's the same pattern in all his defenses. He says he did it to protect her, or because she started it, or because she was neglecting the rabbits.
And I will say this proudly, Emiru abused those rabbits. She did. And if you're in Austin, Texas, and you want to say that she didn't abuse those rabbits at my house, you're lying. You know she did. She abused those rabbits and she let them outside, and it's disgusting.
So it was no surprise that nobody bought it in the comments. His response was literally, "Yeah, I did all that stuff, but what of the rabbits? I'm more concerned this dude has access to a gun." The fallout came fast. He shut off the comment section, a sign he knew the narrative was slipping away. The organization One True King, OTK, released a statement confirming Mizkif no longer holds a stake or role in OTK. So the story you thought you were watching, it's far from over.